This is Tim Ellington with Star Trek CCG, and you're listening to Radio Free Decipher.
Welcome back for another installment of Radio Free Decipher. How are you today, Evan?
I'm in good shape. I'm feeling a little giggly.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know what it is.
So this might be a multiple take session.
Yeah, it could be.
All right, and with us is our favorite guest host, Francis Lalumiere. How are you again today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very good, very good. So we've got a couple things to discuss today. We've got some exclusive new news about the Episode 1 being introduced into the classic Star Wars game. We've got some news about that today, which is very, very exciting. But to start us off, let's talk a little bit about Young Jedi.
Okay.
Have you gotten to take a good, hard look at the new cards and build some decks yet, Evan?
You know, I haven't done any deck building yet, but I've really got my eye on some things in Enhanced Battle.
Good.
Well, yeah, but I'm actually really drawn to the new Nute Gunray and Renhako, actually.
Really?
The whole, as we would say in Trek, the whole downloading engine.
Right.
About, you play one and you go get the other rune and then you go get the other Nemoidian, and it just really cascades nicely.
Oh, very good. So what all this means is that, hey, Enhanced Battle Naboo came out on Wednesday, didn't it? So everybody's grabbing that up as we speak. And as a matter of fact, we are going to be promoting a big event that's happening up in the Washington, D.C. area. It's called the Duel in Old Dominion. Kevin Reitzel is going up there for that tournament this weekend. It's happening at Painted Visions in Woodbridge, Virginia. If you'd like to go, you can give them a call at area code 703-730-8457. They've got tons and tons of Young Jedi tournaments going on, games. They're going to be doing demonstrations and stuff, and Kevin is actually bringing up a bunch of extra prizes.
Is he going to be like gunslinging?
Actually, I believe he is going to be gunslinging, so you can go up there and try and take him down.
And it can be done, folks.
It can.
Oh, yeah.
It can. So, cool. Well, you got any good Trek news for us, Evan?
A little bit, actually. It's been a very, very busy week for Voyager upstairs in product development. We received some new resources from Paramount this week that we didn't have access to, so that was helpful.
And frantic.
It meant that I had to review another, ponderous stack of resources in a very short period of time because we're coming up on some, production-related deadlines in the process. You have to have certain progress by a certain point, or else you're not going to, make your release date.
Right.
So I had to watch about. It was a record even for me. Some 25, 30 episodes of Voyager in 2.5 days. There was a lot of fast forwarding.
Imagine that out there, people.
Yeah. No, but really good, really useful. And at the same time, a lot of the writing of the cards has some very interesting things starting to take shape this week. For a while, we've been putting a lot of focus on verbs, PD slang for people who don't know. These are the cards that are like your events, interrupts, incidents, objectives, things that are not representing nouns, personnel, ships, characters. Exactly. We've been putting a lot of emphasis on verbs for a while, and this week things have started to turn more toward nouns, and that means that some of the character of the Vidians and the Kazon, those have started to sort of develop this week, and they've sort of led us back to verbs, things that play off the Vidians and things that play off the Kazon, and suddenly it's turning out that those guys have a lot more character than we had maybe suspected. It's,
awesome.
I think they're going to be fun to play. I've always been drawn to the Vidians, not so much to the Kazon, but
right.
You know me and the battle-hungry affiliations. I'm not much of a Klingon fan, but suddenly it's like, wow, these guys actually have some specific things they can do that are pretty cool and are going to be new for the game.
So as a player, am I going to be able to take my Vidians and go steal Neelix's lung?
I hope so. It's about the only thing that really caught my attention early in Voyager, because Deep Space Nine was still on at the time, and I was totally in love with that show, and so Voyager was sort of
second fiddle. But
yeah, for me personally, I know it's not that way for a lot of fans, but those Vidians, man, I thought, oh, that's fun. I want to steal my opponent's lungs.
What I really want to see is your final selection of pictures for the Vidians.
Yeah, they are ghastly, and anyone who works here will know that I am a big fan of gruesome pictures.
Oh, and there's some good ones.
Yeah, some of my favorite cards in the game are things like Nightmare, with that drill going into Picard's eye. I love things that make you cringe. And
I think you're a goth at heart.
Maybe.
I think you're gothic
I have
at heart.
just a little touch of the macabre.
But you should try to build a macabre deck.
There you go.
One day.
All right. So I'm hoping that there's going to be, a few of those ghastly images in the set. Like, there is going to be a card that has the Vidian Sulon that stole the crewman's face and grafted it onto himself.
Oh yeah.
I
that's
love that.
awesome.
Disturb your opponent.
So I'm hoping that there's, a sprinkling of cards in there. I'll have to get them by, Tim and Bill's gag reflex, but it is different, seeing something on a show and isolating it there on a card for everyone to see. That just, really intensifies it. But
well, hey, that's where bribery comes in.
Yeah, all kinds of fun.
All right. So moving on, we've got the big exclusive.
Yeah.
Some good Star Wars news for you out there. As many of you are aware, we announced a while ago that we would be incorporating Episode 1 into the classic Star Wars game.
Yeah, it's great news.
Yeah, and I got done just not half an hour ago talking with some of the PD guys about what that means and some of the mechanics that are going on, that they're working on, things like that. And I've got basically a couple things that I wanted to let everybody know. That there is going to be a new pod racing type mechanic in the Episode 1 game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I can't give very many details, of course, about it, but what I can tell you is that it's not very card intensive. In other words, you don't have to dedicate very many cards in your deck to that mechanic, and it's a retrieval engine.
I like that.
So that's pretty wild. So we're going to see a lot of pod racing out there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Also, there's going to be an increase on the amount of dueling that takes place because, hey, what happened in Episode 1, right? There was a great big duel. So not only are we going to see dueling, and from what I'm told, Darth Maul is a dueling machine. That guy is, he's awesome. So yeah, absolutely. So not only are we going to see more characters that duel, but we're going to see more dueling assistant cards. In other words, like what Evan said, verbs and stuff like that are going to help out. I've been told that they also have other functions, but they will, throw a wrench into the whole dueling thing. So, maybe you'll think you have the advantage, and your opponent will play something that is going to have adverse effects on your plan. So, the last thing that I wanted to share with everyone is that they are really taking a look at some of the old objectives and old strategies that have sort of gone by the wayside from the metagame that's going on right now, and they're readdressing that. They have already made cards that are beefing up quite a few old objectives, like the Cloud City objectives or the Death Star objective, things like that. And they are going back and they're making cards that specifically bring those decks back into the metagame, back into the tournament quality, really high, good competitive decks. So that's really exciting stuff. I'm so looking forward to this next set.
So that makes it sound like actually the set is not entirely going to be Episode 1.
That is correct. That is correct. There's going to be a slew of different fun stuff.
Great.
So,
do we have a title for that set?
We probably do, but I haven't been given that information. So
the untitled Star Wars set.
That's right. But it's not too far off on the horizon, and it's getting taking shape really nicely from what I'm told, and I'm very looking forward to it. So
cool.
All right. Lastly today, what we have you on for is to talk about some Jedi Knight stuff. But let's talk about recently. You and I, Francis, did some multiplayer of Jedi Knights. Tell me about your experience with that.
It was my first multiplayer game, and it worked surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be chaos somehow, but it was a lot of fun. I was playing with Kendrick against Kevin and Dan.
Who are you?
I was Vader.
So Kendrick was Tarkin. And who do you remember who was on the other side?
Luke was played by it sounds like
Kevin, I think.
Luke was played by Kevin Reitzel, and Dan was Han.
Yes, this is in the Decipher radio drama. No.
Yeah. And it was a lot of fun. It was. I mean, you really get the feeling. I was afraid that might feel like a two-player game, a four-handed two-player game,
right?
Where we just share resources, and Yeah, I thought it might be like I'm playing with 2 decks and you're playing me with 2 decks, and we pretend it's for a 4-player game.
Right, but you actually have your own agenda. Even though you're on a team, you have your own agenda and how you're going to win, and your opponents each are going to have their own agenda.
And you get to discuss strategy with your partner, and it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
I'm looking forward to the finished game so we can start playing that.
We'll have to get a 4th person on here, and we'll all have to play some on Radio Free someday.
We can play around.
Awesome. That'd be awesome. So.
And the game goes fast, too. I thought it would be a lot slower with 4 players, but it's not.
Oh, that's great. Good. Excellent. And, oh, man, I can't wait. Teaming up and taking on 2 opponents. That's awesome. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. And we are going to be doing another Jedi Knights contest today. We had Francis on a while ago, and then we did that great contest.
Yes, the Three Musketeers contest.
That's right. And you've got a new one for us today.
Yeah. It's sort of a riddle type of contest today.
Riddle.
And we're going to pretend that there was a scene in the original Star Wars movie, so A New Hope, that there was a scene that we have never seen.
Okay.
And it's right before Obi-Wan goes into the cantina to meet Han to ask for transport and so on. So we'll pretend that scene happens with Obi-Wan and 2 informants. Obi-Wan goes to see 2 different informants to try to get some info about who might take him out of Tatooine. That's all right. And... well, I'm going to give you a few rules and then the puzzle itself. Okay, so I suggest you write it down because it's not that tough, but it'll be a lot tougher if you don't write it down. So if you just write it down, you can review the info. Okay, first of all, Obi-Wan knows that the 2 informants, well, each informant will either take him to a transport or to the Imperials.
Okay.
So each guy will do one of the 2.
Okay, so there's one of the 2 informants will take him to the Imperials and one will take him to the transport.
Well, they might both turn him over to the Imperials.
Okay, I see.
But they won't both take him to a transport.
I see.
So that's the first rule.
Okay.
Each one will either take him to the transport, to a transport, or to the Imperials, or they will both turn him to the authorities.
Okay.
But it's impossible for both of them to take him to a transport.
Okay.
Okay. The second rule is, well, Obi-Wan knows that whatever their hidden agendas are, that they're working in a partnership. So on any given day, the 2 informants will either both say the truth or both lie.
Okay.
So you can see where I'm going here.
Yes.
You'll get one statement from each informant.
This is a logic problem.
Yeah. So they're either both true or both false.
Okay.
Okay. So you got your
rules
down.
We got the 2 rules.
Okay. Here's the statement from the first informant. The first informant says, "I will take you to a transport," or the second informant will take you to the Imperials. Let's do that again. That's the first informant.
First informant.
We'll
read that again. We'll do that one again.
The first guy says, "I will take you to a transport," or the second informant will take you to the Imperials.
Okay.
All right.
Slippery fella.
Yeah. The second guy says, "I will not take you to the Imperials." So again, the statement from the second informant is, "I will not take you to the Imperials."
Okay.
Okay.
And they're either both telling the truth or they're both lying.
Yes. And that's the second rule. And the first rule was that they could both be
taking you to the Imperials.
Yes.
Or one could be taking you to a transport and one to the Imperials.
Yes, but not both to a transport.
There you go.
The question is, what should Obi-Wan do? And you have basically 3 choices. He could either go with the informant number 1, go with informant number 2, or find an informant on his own.
And there you have it.
Okay, so what we need you out there in Radio Free Land to do is send an email to radiofree@decipher.com, and the subject line of your email needs to be Informant 1, Informant 2, or no informant.
Okay.
So those are your 3 options. That's what the subject line needs to be. Once again, that's Informant 1, Informant 2, or no informant.
Okay.
Okay? And then in the body of your email, you need to put your address information.
Okay. All of your contact information.
All of your contact
address, phone
information.
number.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. And what we're going to be doing today for today's contest is the winner of the contest will be getting a box of boosters of Jedi Knights when it comes out, and one of each starter deck when it comes out.
Okay.
That is what the grand prize winner. If there's more than one correct answer, we will choose a winner at random. The normal Decipher
all of the contest rules
apply
that were stated for the previous contest we ran here on Radio Free.
That is correct. And there is your challenge. What should Obi-Wan do? Personally, I think he should just use the Force.
That could work.
All right.
I think you should fast forward the movie, and you know, it's like Spaceballs. You know, let's find out where they went. Let's just wind the tape back.
That could work too.
All right. And so the challenge is set before you.
Okay.
Informant 1, Informant 2, or no informant. All right.
It's really not that tough. Just give it some thought.
It's not Three Musketeers tough, but it should still be fun.
Still, I mean, we had, 8 people who figured out the first one?
Yeah.
Three Musketeers? That's
people.
really good. I was surprised.
Yeah. So
we have a very literate fan base.
Yeah, well, French literate fan base.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on with us again today, and we're going to have you back next week.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to explain that somewhat.
Yes, provide the answer.
Yeah, because my brain's already hurting. So.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, everyone out there in Radio Freeland, and have a great weekend.